So those are the lists of the method you can see different API will give you different functions. So here I use list create API view. What is this one? List create API view means this one user it used for read write endpoints. So you can read the data and then you can write on the web, so it will connect to your database. Okay. And for example, this one, retrieve, update, destroy API. So we have retrieve, update, destroy API. It used for read, write, delete. So we have all the functions. So you can change if you want to use only retrieve API, then you will see only the data. If you use the retrieve destroy API, you can just delete. If you use retrieve update API, then you can just read and update. So what we are going to learn next is how we can deal with Ajax. So I will explain just a little bit on Ajax, and we are going to use feeder. What is the meaning by feeder here? So we will learn what is Ajax and what is parse. Okay? How we can parse something. And we are going to use fit parser. It means we are going to parse the JSON. And we are going to see how we can use JSON as the external view. And some basic Ajax before we go to the detail of the Ajax. So what is Ajax? This on the acronym. It is an asynchronous JavaScript and XML. Asynchronous. So there will be a synchronized items between the JavaScript and the XML, but it is asynchronous. It is not real time, but it is connected. Ajax is not a programming language, and it is used as a combination of a browser built-in XML HTTP request object. So if we understand the object-oriented programming, this Ajax is similar to that kind of object. And this kind of object, we call it the data object model. And it is the way to display or use the data. And the HTML DOM is connected to the JavaScript. So it is a combination. Okay. Ajax is a developer's dream. Yeah, because you can update a web page without reloading the page. When you are using any web page, if you want to reload something, you need to refresh and you need to reload all the pages. If you request from a server, you can see the after the page has been loaded. If you want to receive the data from a server, after the page has been loaded, send the data to server in the background. It means there will be more convenience if you have multiple pages, because in Ajax we can arrange only a particular frame or only a particular section. You don't need to have all the pages, but only a particular page that can be used to request or to receive the data. How the Ajax works: when you have a browser, we have a browser. When an event occurs, let's say I click something. Okay. After I click something, it will create an XML HTTP request object, and it will send an HTTP request. So the server will check the HTTP request, and then it creates a response and send back to the browser. After it sends the HTTP request here, it will return something using the JavaScript, and it will update the page content. We need to understand the meaning by parsing. What is the meaning by parsing? So parsing means write and read the file. In this case, I'm using XML or JSON and change the format into other relevant format. So if you are doing with Java, in Java, you can see there are a lot of parsing. Parse int. It means you want to parse something, let's say string, into integer. You can have also parse double. You want to change from string to double. So the parse means you want to change one format into other relevant format. Parsing method is necessary to view the file. So if you have XML or JSON in a representative way, then you can change whether you want to see in JSON or you want to convert from JSON to HTML and etc. If we deal with the XML and JSON, it means we want to parse the XML and JSON that is referred to the method write and read. So we learned already how to write JSON and XML. And sorry. So we can also consider the conversion. Conversion means I want to change from XML to JSON, or I want to change from JSON to XML. Parsing is also referring to showing the result in the proper format. Let's say I want to change from JSON to a table, or I want to change from JSON to an HTML. We can also say this is a parsing. For this issue, let's see how we can deal with the JSON view. If you look at your Python, we have one folder, bookdata.json. Okay. If you click on this bookdata.json, this is the JSON that you have in your computer. Now, I want to see this JSON in the web. How we can see it is by giving the view function. So let me copy and paste this one. So you can copy the code and then go to the folder post. Okay, we have the folder post and we have the views.py. So in the views.py, you already learned how to create the list API and then the retrieve, update, destroy API. And then I make one new function, JSON view. Hopefully it is working well in your computer, because there might be some issues if you put in the wrong folder. So I give you this path. It means I want to know where is the location of your JSON file. If you want to check, you can print this one. But I guess there will be no issue if you are using Windows. If you are using Mac, please check whether there is an issue or not with this code. I will be back later on this code. After I have used the UI, I need to make a URL. This URL means the link in the web. So I will put this JSON view in our URLs. Okay, I put this one, and then there is an error because I need to collect this from. So I need to get the JSON view from dot views. It should be fine. Okay, you can put this one. So it will call the function from the views.py. So if you run, testing data. Yeah, we have this one. Okay. I guess so. In this case, I need to check. So here is the basic Rest, and then basic Rest. We have two different basic Rest. So it means it should be inside the basic Rest. Let me check. If I run again, okay. So this JSON is located in the basic REST testing the data. So here is the path. Actually, the file path here is. So we have the path which is correct, and then path dot relative path file. Maybe I do need this one. So I need to change this one. Yeah, in my case, I don't need the basic class again, but I don't know in your case if you are having the same structure with me. I think you can just delete. You can just delete the basic class, so it just remain the testing data. And let me check again. Okay, it works. So in my case, I don't need this basic REST because I think the new version of this Django has eliminated this folder name. Okay. In the previous version, they have this name, but the new version of Django, they don't require the name. So I can just call the folder name, which is testing data. Okay. So in this testing data, we have one file, which is the book data.json. So I want to get the file path. What is the file path? The file path is this one, which is this path. And then I give this format backslash because it is the requirement in the file path in Windows. So I would like to get the path, relative path of the file one. File one is the folder name that I define where I put the book data.json. So I will put the data in, I will make a dictionary, a new dictionary for the data, and then I will go to the book data.json from this file path, and then I'm going to read. After I read this JSON, I will put all the information here into this data. So we use JSON.load. So we open this one as file handler. So we put all the contents into file handler, and then we transfer or we parse this file handler into the data dictionary. And then we pass this JSON data into the HTTP. Okay. So after we dump this one, JSON.dumps data, so we can get this JSON in the web. It means if you want to transfer your data from your JSON in the server, you can just put on the web like this one, so people can access it. People can have the access on your data only based on this JSON format. They don't have any access to your database. They don't have any access to your local server, but they have the access to this link. That's the meaning by API. Using Python, we can parse the data, XML or JSON, to the template. So I have my JSON file and I show it in the JSON format. So I have the JSON file, something.json, and I want to show it into the web as JSON format. Then you already did with the previous example. But how if I have XML or JSON and I want to show it into the HTML? There is one library, we call it feeder. So let's install the library before we go to the next slide. So you can go to the command prompt, or you can use you can use the terminal if you have the PyCharm. you can go to terminal, and then you can type pip install fit parser. Okay. So after you install this, you will have the fit parser in your computer. And now let's append the codes in the view.py. And I'm going to use two newsfeed. Okay, what is the newsfeed? Okay, let's see what the first one. Okay. I will put this into the views.py. So I'm importing the fit parser, and then I just use the fit parser to parse this one. What is it? Okay, this is a block, and this block is based on the WordPress. And if you want to know more, you can go to the original page. Yeah, this is just an example, okay? So I'm trying to get the information from this guy, and then I would like to know what are the contents of this guy. And the block give you a code or the XML code to access all this content. Now I have all this content like the title, and then the link, and the description of the link, and then last build date, and what is the language, and so on. And in this environment, we can also see each of the block. So for example, here, it has the link, title, and then who is the creator, and then when is the publication date, and it is a guidance to the permanent link. And this is the content. Based on this data, I want to parse and I want to show it in my HTML. So in this case, I have the WordPress and I want to put it into my HTML. So you can use any kind of web. For example, yeah, you want to get the movie theater movie list from the theater. Okay? You want to get the movie list. So some movie companies, they share their movie, and then they share also the information about the empty seats, the vacant seat, and then when will be the schedule and etc. You can put into your website as long as they provide a kind of API. If they have the API to share with, then you can easily change this one. If you have XML or JSON API, then you can easily convert this into HTML. Now, I would like to change this XML into the HTML. This is the view. Okay, I use two newsfeeds. The first is from someone's blog. Yeah, I just use this one. And the other is from the official website of ESPN. So for now, let's just use this one. We will check the second one later. After you have the views.py, Now let's put one more link. The link is view with. I will go to the urls.ui. So I give one more link in order to view the feed. So I need to call the view feed. This method call will be used to call the method when I connect to this link. Now let me make a new HTML file, and this HTML file name is viewfeed.html. Because it is only an example, I do not want to create a complex HTML. So let me just create a very simple HTML and copy and paste this one into the viewfeed.html. So in the template, I will make a new HTML file, viewfeed.html. So in the viewfeed.html, you can delete all those, and then let's have only this part. Okay, so let's see what is the result in your web. What you can see here is all the title in this block. So if I delete this, the first title is in God, there is no judgment or condemnation. And then the next is the universe did not rise from the Big Bang by chance. So let me say, okay, the universe did not rise from the Big Bang by chance. So we can extract the present information to our website. So this one is Ajax Works personal spiritual enlightenment story. So if you go to next, yes, this is Ajax Works personal spiritual enlightenment story. So this kind of things means we can extract from someone's website into ours. How the mechanism works is in the views.py, we use feed parser.parse. If you can find any XML or if you can find any JSON, so you can use that one and you can just call this library and you can parse it. So the view feed.html will show all the contents. What are the contents here? This is the content. For every entry in the feeds.entries. So in the feeds, what is feeds here? Feeds are the result of this feed in the WordPress. And then we want to check for every entries. Every entries means every data that we can extract from the blog. And I would like to put the link. So it's ref. It means I want to get the link and then show the title. What is the title here? So if you get this is the title. Okay, this is the title. And then you will see the link. This is the link. This is the link. So the link is this one. The small man WordPress something something. And then we have the date. And then we have the title in the link. And if you are choosing that one, If I choose this one first, then it goes directly to the blog. Okay. So if I want to see something like this one, then it goes to the blog. Now let's see if we use another example. I do not want to use this feed. Let me connect to the ESPN. Okay, so what is this ESPN? It is related with the sport news. So in this ESPN news, we have the information about the news like Luka all smiles after Mays demolished Suns in G7. And then we have another title. CP3 says he's not retiring for a Sun implode in G7. If you take a look on this ESPN.com, maybe this is no, this is not a. Oh, I think we need to go to the RSS. This is the RSS. It means, last time we know about the RSS, it is the list of the information that we want to extract. And because we know all are related to news, so I would like to see only the news. And based on this information, I want to extract only related to the news, and I want to put it into this HTML. If I refresh this one, now you can see all the contents are related to the news in the ESPN. Luka all smiles, this one, if you click, then you will see the news in the ESPN. Okay, and you see another news, you can click, and then you will see another news in the ESPN. It is related to this link that has been created from this RSS. So the modification, we exchange the feed variable with other link, which is from ESPN. So most of the news feed will provide almost the same XML structure schema. It's almost the same. So in this case, in this example, I use only two, which is link and title. Luckily, all the news feed have those two, link and title. If you want to add more, of course, you need to check what are the contents there. For example, if you want to add the date, then you need to check whether they have the date or not. So this example is only to show the link and the title. And it uses some kind of RSS specification. So you can see, if you want to read the details, I give you the link. So this is the RSS specification. RSS means really simple syndication. So when I have like this one, it is the syndication. This is the information that I can extract if I visit the blog. In general, each domain will have its own specification. If it is related to news, they will have its own specification, news, and then something related with title, publish, date, or with the link, or author, and etc. If it is related with blog, yeah, it has another kind of information. Maybe the title and the publish date will be the same. Link also the same. If the blog has many authors, then maybe the author will be the same, and so on. So every domain will have different. And if you are dealing with the JSON, yeah, it has a different way, but actually still similar. Most of JSON are publicly available, just the same as the newsfeed using XML. And JSON is more general and usually comes with their own specification. So it is more dynamic compared to the XML. Various datasets using JSON are available. So like this one. So there are many JSON datasets. I think last time we already see this one. If I want to check the movie dataset. So this is the JSON, which is short. Now this is another JSON that is longer than the previous one. It shows all the cinemas in Thailand. So there is the data, it is the column name, and then what is the, for example, this one, I want to see the information from that particular theater. Oh. So in this particular theater, I want to see only 20 information. So this is the first 20, and then you can go to the next, which is the next 20. This is from 20 until 40, and so on. There's also another kind of information from our government. In Korean government, they provide some catalog. Oh, this is in US. Okay. If you want to get some data sets, they will provide not only CSV, but also JSON and XML. So there are many websites, there are many data catalog like this one. They share the data through the JSON and XML. So it means you don't need to save the CSV. You can just use the JSON and the XML. In Korea, we have the Gonggong data, data.go.kr. So you can also check what kind of data that you want. Let's say I want to get the UYUK data. This is about the education. So they also share all the data in terms of JSON and XML. So you can see here JSON and XML, JSON and XML. So those data are two popular formats. So you don't need to worry. If you already learned those two kind of data, it will be very useful for you for the future. So if you click this one, they will give you some information about what is the content on the data. You can download this one, or you can download this. If it is freely available, then this is the content in CSV. If you want to get the content in the JSON format, you can go to the Open API. This is the metadata. Now you can see this is the file data that you can use for your further analysis. Okay? So it means you don't need to download the CSV file every time, but instead you can use the link. Okay. Okay, there, because I need more time to explain this one, let me continue tomorrow for this explanation. Any questions?